Hey everyone, and welcome to Deardrops. My name is Bryce, and I will be with you on this journey of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And y'all may have noticed that I have put this isn't on the ACII channel, and that's because the last channel we made for ACII was. Yeah, it was the first one, but it got destroyed by copyright infringements. Nothing really I could do. It's kind of my own fault. But hopefully, to protect this new channel, and hopefully that we can keep it together, for the first videos I'm gonna do are gonna be on my channel. So there's no need to subscribe to that channel or anything, because it'll still be linked through ACII. Okay? So, alright, now since we've got that through, let's start some Deardrops. I'm really excited to play this for y'all. It's like my first VN I've ever gonna play. Also, I'm gonna be reading most of the monologue and the main character's voicing, but all the other characters have voice actors already, so I'm sorry if I'm a bad voice actor. I'll get better, I promise. This is a dream. A dream I often have. A dream I've had ever since I was a kid. In the dream, I'm in the light. The stage is lit up by dazzling lights. Many people have gathered here to listen to our performance. Yes, our performance. I'm not alone on stage. Friends whom I trust are with me. And because I'm surrounded by so many trusted friends, I'm able to concentrate on my performance. Of course, my violin is both my greatest friend and partner. I've been playing the violin since before I could remember. The violin is a part of me. It sings the exact tune I wish it to. And when my violin sings a good tune, my friends in the orchestra respond with a wonderful performance. Each and every one of us in an individual, but an aggregation of each tune played by each individual is like a single creature. All of the guests who's bought expensive tickets to hear our performance listen with rapt attention. This moment is priceless and irreplaceable by anything else. Even if something unpleasant occurs off stage, I can forget about it as long as I have this moment of bliss. It is the tale of a world illuminated by bright spotlights. It is a familiar scene, one I have dreamed of ever since I was a kid. No, it is not a mere dream. Part of it was very real. Once, I had attained this dream. Oh yeah. No, I nearly often obtained it. But right as I thought I had, it suddenly vanished. In that instant, I suddenly lost all light that was thrust into darkness. The instant I lost my dream, even the world in my dream changed completely. Now, whenever I sleep, I always see this dream. A world resigned by darkness. A moment that was the end of the world to me. So many times I thought, if this is a dream, please wake me up. Perhaps that is why I always see it in my dreams and always wake up as I hoped. However, even when I wake up, reality hasn't changed. Now my nightmare is my reality. I was taught that dreams were meant to be achieved, but now they were absolutely abominable. I was afraid to dream, but I was also afraid to wake up. I see. Then I had a thought. I had no place in this world anymore. My body filled with emptiness. I felt like my entire body was being ground into dust. Like I was losing myself. Just where I was supposed to... Where was I supposed to go from here? At that moment, I heard someone's voice. A song. It was a light, humming voice. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful song that eased my mind as I listened to it. It sounded kind of familiar. This is supposed to be my dream, my nightmare. Just who could be singing so happily in my nightmare? No, I realized I was mistaken. This voice wasn't coming from my dream. Then, lured by that song, my consciousness was pulled up from the depths of my nightmare and into reality. Aw, yeah. A single girl was singing pleasantly beneath the blue sky. She wasn't raising her voice to sing. She was humming. Yet strangely, her faint voice carried well. As I opened my eyes slightly, I saw her profile. It was a familiar, well-known face. It had been many years since I last saw her, but her impression was still the same. Sakurai Kanade. The childhood friend whom I grew up with in this city. Oh, now I remember. I was waiting here to meet Kanade. It's been several years since we last met. After all, I haven't been back to the city in several years. My head began to clear as Kanade continued to sing. I was completely awake from my nightmare now. With my mind fully clear now, I opened my eyes. Kanade hasn't noticed me open my eyes yet and continued happily humming. I literally watched as she enjoyed herself. It was enjoyable for me too. Kanade's voice soaked into me like water into dry sand. What a pleasant song. It was so natural. There was no force or strain. Was I like that at one point? Did I play music? Was I loved by music like this? As those questions came to my mind, they pierced my heart. My past was full of sound, which tormented me. I accidentally rested in pain. Then Kanade looked at me. Our eyes met. And then her song stopped. We were suddenly wrapped in silence. And then we heard the sound of the waves. I felt the salty breeze brushing against my cheeks. Your humming woke me up. No, I didn't mean to sleep. When did you get here? I lifted myself up next to Kanade. Though my body felt heavy and trapped in mud during my dream, it lifted up easily. The lingering memory of my nightmare was gone. A relaxing ocean breeze blew against me. It had been about a week since I returned to this country, but this was the first time I truly felt the wind of my home like this. The whole week had been hectic. Kanade asked hesitantly. I guess she meant her humming. You could have kept singing. When I told her her honest thoughts, she suddenly looked at me as if the world had ended. Kanade was always uncomfortable doing things in front of others. She was always uncomfortable with speaking her opinion to someone or singing before others. She found it embarrassing. You don't need to be so bashful. I love your songs, Kanade. Her tone sounded weird. Was it that upsetting?
だって正一君に褒めてもらえるようなことなんて私全然ないもん。
Kanade's always been like this. I wonder why she has such little confidence in herself. She's very perceptive of others and could look after them well. She takes good care of others, and yet not of herself. You can't argue with people's tastes. I love them, okay? At times like these, I'll say it a little forcefully. And then she won't be able to argue back.
ありがとう。
And as expected, she bowed her head in thanks. We've been together since we were kids, so we knew each other well. But I've never heard that song before. Is it the latest hit? I've been away from Japan so long I was completely out of touch with what was popular here. But that was a pretty good song. I wonder whose song it was.
流行りなんて全然流行るわけないよこんな歌。
Kanade denied it as best as she could. That's suspicious behavior, man. Let me guess. It was a song you wrote, Kanade.
ちょっと。
Kanade nodded vaguely. She didn't seem to want others knowing very much, but Kanade's been composing songs since grade school. Kanade's father ran a live house, and she's helped him with it since she was a child. It's a place where amateur rock bands and such perform. Perhaps that had something to do with it. Though our genres were different, we were both raised together with music for as long as we can remember. Maybe that was one of the reasons why Kanade and I became close. I see. It's your song. Is there more to it?
まだ全然できてないの。今作ってるとこで。
Then will you let me hear it when it's done?
聞きたいの？
Is that bad?
ダメじゃないけど。じゃあ、完成したらね。
Kanade blushed and nodded slightly. It's a promise. I'm looking forward to it.
そんなに楽しみにされても困るよ。うまくできるかわからないし。
Kanade mumbled. As we continued to talk, my drowsiness went away. Yet, as I sat here talking to Kanade and gazing at the ocean like this, it all felt like a distant dream. It sure has been a while. How long has it been since I last relaxed like this? I was always busy with something or another.
だって5年ぶりだもん。
Kanade said heartily. Has it been that long? 5 years, huh? 5 years ago. That was when I left this city. It was a long time that I felt like both an instant and an eternity. I was fortunate enough to win first prize in a large contest, and I was adopted into a German orchestra. With that intention of devoting myself to music, I took hold of my violin and left Japan. Everything was going without a hitch at that point. Or it was, until everything was destroyed in that moment. Not until I destroyed it with my own hands. Looking back now, those were the worst 5 years of my life. There was no meaning to them. No. It would at least be better if there was no meaning. I can't look back at that time in a calm manner. I turned my eyes toward the scenery earlier, fleeing from that sight. Oh man. The nostalgic beach was spread before me. The waves came and went for eternity. This beach, Nadeshiko Beach, was chosen for 100 beautiful Japanese seasides. I grew up listening to the beautiful sound of these waves and feeling their rhythm. With summer nearly upon us, the ocean glowed with reflected sunlight. It was bright. I felt like I was catching a glimpse of my lost past. My lost past was always bright. My cheeks ached. At the same time, sweat formed on my palms. I tightly grabbed my shirt to wipe it off.
Soicchi-kun?
Before I knew it, Kanade was looking at me with concern.
顔色が悪いよ。大丈夫？疲れてるんじゃないかな？
Yeah, I might be a little tired. I'm still feeling a bit of a jet lag though, I guess. I smiled to ease her concern. Kanade followed suit and smiled back.
ねえ、それで部屋のことだけど、本当にお店の方でいいの？
I made it back from Germany okay, but for several reasons, I couldn't stay in my home. I didn't have a job either. So without a job or a place to go, I was introduced to live at the live-in job by Kanade, or a live-in job with Kanade. I'd be working at the live house her family runs. I want to be there. I'd rather like this bus. It's like a secret base. Bus referred to the room which I'd be borrowing. As for why it's called the bus, well, it's obvious once you see it.
正一くんがいいならそれでいいんだけど。でも本当にいいのかな？
I said it's fine.
そうじゃなくて、正一くん、うちなんかで働くことにしていいのかなって。やっぱりバイオリンの仕事。
I'm sure. I spoke firmly, cutting her off. I knew that was what she was about to say. I've already given up on that violin. Kanade didn't accept that. But she didn't know what else to say, damn it. But she didn't know what else to say either.
そうだね。しばらく休んだ方がいいよね。
After a short pause, Kanade spoke at a loss. I'm not taking a break. I gave it up. I was about to say that, but I decided that wouldn't be mature. Kanade was saying it because she was truly worried about me. Come on, we should get going.
そうだね。
I stood up as I gazed at the ocean of my hometown. I never dreamed that I would be returning here like this. The ocean hasn't changed a bit, and neither had my childhood friend. However, I have changed greatly.
そうだ。正一くん、おかえりなさい。
Aww. Kanade's voice gently seeped into me like the sounds of the waves. I'm glad to be home. I replied in a soft tone, because I couldn't proudly say I was glad. By saying those words, I was finally able to feel like I'd come home. Home to the city where I was born and raised. Perhaps it only felt that way because there were people here to welcome me back like this. It had been a while, but it's exactly as I remember it. This was the live house run by Kanade's father. This is kind of nostalgic. I guess being nostalgic is only natural. I never came here that frequently in the first place, and towards the end things were really hectic as I left Japan in a hurry.
もしかして入るのは10年ぶりくらいなんじゃないかな。
You might be right. Just because my father was opposed to me going to such places. If you had such free time, then spend it on your own lessons. That was my father's favorite line. My father loathed the idea of me coming in contact with any music other than classical. But that man doesn't understand anything. To my father, music's just Ah, what a stupid thing to remember. I'm finally getting a new start, so I need to refresh my attitude. Is Master Bird from the studio?
今の時間だとそうだと思う。
The first floor was the reception floor for the studio, and the basement was the live house. The live house usually doesn't open for business until evening. I should go and greet Master for now. As I went to open the front door, it opened first. A girl who looked like an elementary schooler came out.
チカ、帰ったよ。なんだお姉ちゃんか。おかえり。
Oh no, she's got a sharp tongue. Chica answered and looked up at me.
翔一？
Aww. Oh, uh-huh. The girl was Kanade's little sister, Chika-chan. I've known her since the day she was born. Though, I was surprised. Is that really you, Chika-chan? You've really grown. To be frank, I nearly didn't recognize her. But I guess that's only natural. When I left Japan, Chika-chan had yet to even start elementary school. How old are you now, Chika-chan? Chika-chan got angry and puffed her cheeks out when I asked.
女の子にいきなり年を聞くなんてデリカシーがないわね。
Suddenly, she scolded me. Sorry?
チカはね、今年10歳、小学4年生だよ。可愛くなったでしょ。
Yeah, I'm surprised. I didn't recognize her for a second.
褒めたって何も出ないんだから。一体いつまでそこにいるつもり？早く入ったら？
Looks like she's grown quite reliable in the years I've been gone. Yeah. Then if you excuse me.
どうぞどうぞ。翔一くんお一人様ご案内。
Kanade took the lead and entered the store. Just as I went to follow her in, I felt something tug my clothes from behind. Chika-chan? Chika-chan looked up at me with hesitation.
ね。おかえり、翔一。
Oh, yeah. Glad to be back.
じゃあほら、早く入りなよ。
Yeah, thanks.
よう、翔一か。久しぶりだな。
Oh yeah, look at him. It's Master. The man who greeted me with a dandy smile was Kanade's father and the owner of this business, Sakurai Sadao. Everyone knows him as Master. It seems Master used to be a bandman himself, but now he's just a regular, friendly old man. He looks like a bandman. Good to see you. I don't really know what to say. Sorry for all the trouble. Starting today, this was my home. I was truly grateful to him for welcoming me in, despite of my circumstances. If he hadn't, then no joke, I may have been sleeping in some park tonight.
まあまあ、そんな堅苦しい挨拶はやめようや。いろいろあって疲れてるんだろ。難しい話は後でいいじゃないか。それよりどうだい？変わってないだろ
う。Master spoke proudly. No, not at all. I took another look around the store. It was as if time had stopped here. It hadn't changed at all from when I remembered of when I first came here. I'm surprised. I feel like I've gone back in time. I'm sure the minor details have changed, but at least the atmosphere was still the same. That's why I felt like time was stopped here. You hadn't changed at all either, Master. It hadn't been a long time, but that nickname came naturally to the tongue. I still remember him warning me to call him Master when I called him Old Man as a kid. Master had been Master to me ever since.
そう言ってもらえると嬉しいよ。これでも結構白髪が増えてたり、微妙に劣化してるんだけどな。でもまあ、見るからに変わったのはこいつぐらいかな。
Master reached out over and patted Chika-chan's head. Chika-chan scrunched her shoulders bashfully.
やめてよ、パパ。髪が乱れるでしょ。
な？ 言うことも生意気に色気づいてね。ま、背は伸びないけどな。
She is pretty cheeky.
これから伸びるの。毎日牛乳飲んでるんだから。
No, she's grown quite a bit bigger. You just don't realize it because you've seen her every day. I nearly didn't recognize who she was, honestly.
ちょっと正一見すぎ。あんまりジロジロ見ないでよね。セクハラ。
Sexual harassment? I never thought those words would come from Chika-chan. She was so charming, I couldn't hardly help but smile.
ね？生意気だろ。
She is pretty cheeky. Master and Kanade were both smiling too. I guess Chika-chan is entering that difficult age too. They do say that women mature earlier than men.
最近ちょっと反抗期なんだよね。
正一も噛みつかれないよう気をつけろよ。
Huh? She bites?
噛まないわよ。パパの冗談真に受けてどうすんのよ。もうパパもいい加減なこと言わないで。
悪い悪い。
Master laughed while dealing with Chika-chan as she lunged at him. Kanade watched this, all with a smile. I couldn't help but laugh at their heartwarming exchange. This place hasn't changed at all. It's still relaxing.
正一、何笑ってるのよ。笑うとこじゃないわよ。
Sorry. Anyway, Chika-chan, do you have school today? That's right, it was a weekday afternoon. She should still be in school at this time.
正一くんのお出迎えするってずる休みしたんだよね。なんで言うのよ、お姉ちゃんのバカ
Chika-chan yelled at her, red in the face. So she went to the trouble of skipping school just to greet me, huh? Kanade come all the way to pick me up. Master took me in without asking anything. And Chika-chan took off school just to wait for me. I thought I had no place left to go home, but with everyone welcoming me like this, Chika-chan, thank you.
勘違いしないでよね。別に正一のためじゃないんだから。
Yeah, I know, but thank you.
どういたしまして。
まあ、これからはここを自分の家だと思って使ってくれればいいからな。
A lot of things happened. I lost my place in the world, and I ran away back to Japan, but finally I felt like I might be able to start anew here. No, for the sake of everyone who's taken me in, I have to get my act together.
はい、ここが正一くんの部屋だよ。
She led me to the bus on top of the roof. They had taken a bus from somewhere and remodeled the inside so it could be used as a room. Oh, there it is! By the way, look. I've always wondered this, but how'd they ever get that up on top? There aren't any legal problems with this, are there? But I always admired this place when I was a kid, since it's like a secret base.
ずっと使ってなかった部屋だから汚れてるかも。一応お掃除はしておいたんだけど。
This is plenty clean for me.
なんか変なものがあったらごめんね。子供の頃、ここによくいろんなもの持ってきて隠したりしてたから。
Oh yeah? You did? Not only has Kanade always found it hard to throw things away, she was the kind of kid who brought the strings home.
トイレやお風呂は下の階ね。お風呂って言っても、ここはシャワーだけだけど、もしお湯に浸かりたくなったら自宅の方に入りに来て。
A shower's enough. That's all I had abroad anyways. Taking a long mist bath did sound attractive, but I was reluctant to ask for even more favors. Oh yeah, there used to be a public back nearby. Maybe I'll go to there tonight.
それでね、朝ごはんなんだけど、 私たちはいつも自宅で済ませてるんだけど、翔一くんはどうする？
Kanade's voice was about 5 minutes from here. House, I mean, I'm sorry. It's not that far, but a 10-minute trip in the morning is a bit rough.
よかったら、私作りに来ようか？下のホールにキッチンがあるから。
There's a kitchen? Then I'll make it myself.
翔一くんお料理できるの？
What do you think I just did all those years while I was living on my own in Germany? I can cook enough not to starve.
そうなんだ！すごーい！
You overreacting. It's just food. I only learned how because it was necessary. If I didn't cook for myself, I had to go out and eat. That would have required both money and time. Since I wanted to spend every minute and every second I could playing the violin, I had to cook for myself. There was a lot of times when I went without, just to avoid the trouble, though.
じゃあ、そのうち翔一くんの手料理ごちそうになりに来ちゃおうかな。なんちゃって。
Yeah, anytime you want. I can't offer much, though.
ほんと？やった！
You're overreacting again. Is my cooking that enjoyable? Kanade was leaping with joy. Kanade normally handles all of the meals, so maybe she's just happy to eat something made by someone else. Kanade's mother passed away in an accident when Chika-chan was still young. Since then, Kanade's been in charge of the house. I mean it. Come for a meal. I'll treat you to something.
ほんとに来ちゃうね。
They're letting me stay here, so it's the least I can do.
じゃあ、他に何かわからないことあるかな？
I think that's enough for now. I'm sure there'll be things I can't remember that'll come up, though.
その時は私かチカに聞いてね。
Yeah, I'll be counting on you. Well, now my life here is about to start. One completely different from the life I lived so far. Phew. I laid my warm body on the sofa. The cushions were a little firm, and they creaked as I laid down. I somehow finished putting away my luggage and had just come back from washing off at the public baths. I'd wanted to take a nice relaxing bath instead of a shower, at least for today. I was still sweating, partly because I stayed in too long. It's been a long time since I was in such a large bath. I almost always took a shower in Germany. I felt like my body was remembering that I'm Japanese as I sat in the hot water of that large bath. Maybe this is what they mean by rejuvenated. Still, it's awfully hot. Summer's just about to start. It's already this humid. We didn't have this in Germany either. Even though I was tired, I didn't think I could sleep because of all that and being in a new bed. Oh well, I'll just practice a bit. I reached out my hand, but it wandered through the air in vain. I unconsciously tried to grab my violin. Habits are terrifying. I reached my hand out unconsciously, but its goal was no longer with me. I had already cast aside my violin. That's right. That's right. I spoke in a light-hearted tone, trying not to think about it. Still, I felt despondent, and I laid back down in the sofa again. I decided I'd never play it again. I told myself that many times, but I said it again. There's no reason for me to continue with it, and others wouldn't allow me to anyways. Continuing the violin would only bring hardship. I'll never play it again. I told myself again. Then I felt a pain from somewhere outside my body. It was a phantom pain. It came from just in front of my left shoulder. It was about the size of a violin. Of course it was. Of course, there wasn't anything there. Just empty space. That space with nothing hurt. How could something as stupid as an empty space Besides, it wasn't even a part of my body originally. That's why it was just my imagination, nothing more than a phantom pain. However, it was very real, physical pain asserting itself to my body. I felt like I had a violin-sized hole in my body. Wait, why am I thinking of such stupid things? I should go cool my head off. I heaved a heavy sigh and opened my window wide for a change in atmosphere. A surprisingly cool breeze blew into my room. The air was refreshing and smelled of salt. Oh, that's right. I just remembered that I had stopped at the convenience store on my way back and bought some beer. Yeah. If you're under the age of 21, don't drink beer. I finished, though, the plastic bag and popped open. Oh, I'm not making that noise. Cough, cough. I cough from the strong carbonation. It's bitter. Is this how beer tastes? I don't know how beer tastes. I've always been weak against liquor. So even though I was in Germany, I hardly drink any beer. What? It's like the place. I typically got drunk as soon as I drink anyway. And if I was drunk, that would hinder my practice, so I didn't drink. But that doesn't matter anymore. I can drink as much beer as I want from now on. And if I can't sleep, I can just drink and pass out. If I'm passed out, then I might avoid seeing that nightmare too. Free. I poured the bitterness down my throat. Was beer always this bitter? Lightheaded. I know I can't hold my liquor, but I get drunk off this much. Just one can of beer. A humid breeze blew in through the open window. The wind was filled with an evening dew that clung to my skin. It's like I'm kind of empty. Free, huh? What does it mean to be free? To have nothing, to be nothing. Is that it? What am I supposed to do from here on? What will I be doing next year? 5 years from now? 10 years from now? I've never thought about that before. Even once. Because I thought I would always be playing that violin. But now, I have nothing. With nothing left, how am I supposed to live from now? I'm really pathetic from getting drunk off just this. Close my eyes. My world was darkness. In one moment, my world was hurled into darkness, like when closing one's eye. Just go to sleep already. Then morning will come on its own. Once it's bright out, I'm sure these thoughts will vanish right away. Then, I heard a faint sound carried by the wind. It really was faint, but I could tell it was carving some rhythm. It was some kind of music. The live house? The music sounded like it was coming from the live house in the basement. It really was faint. I don't mean to brag about it, but my ears are good. That sound felt faint like feathers, but I was drawn to it. I guess I'll go take a little peek. Oh! Rock and roll! The moment I opened the door, a flood of sound spilled out. I felt like I was being pushed back by the waves of the sound. But I stood firm and held against it. After the sound came the light. I squinted my eyes as the bright light rushed over me. Huh? Sound before light? No, sound can't be faster. No sound can be faster than light. It's common knowledge that the speed of light is faster than that of sound. But just now, I didn't feel the sound before the light. What is a bundle of sound with a huge mass. I've been left in my head as if it's been that flooded by sound. My head was dizzy. Was it because I was drunk? No, I felt like someone had clobbered me in the head. What is this? It was different from any sound I knew. What was it? I'm sure that this is music too, but it was completely different from the music I played. Lots of people were fiercely moving their bodies amidst the flood of light and sound. Some were jumping, some were stomping, some were shaking their heads like wild. It was hard to believe that anyone in this display of movement was sane. The scene looked as like some kind of ritual. This is music? I felt like my values about what music was had just been shattered to pieces. There was music like this in the world? Of course. I knew this was called rock. I heard the genre. I've heard of this genre known as rock, of course, and I've listened to a little bit of it. But this is the first time I got to hear it live. It was completely different from the rock I knew. Is this really right to call this music? These notes thrown off by distortion. This violent sound with only volume and a fragment of delicacy. I couldn't tell if this performance was good or not. If he's producing such distorted notes, does that mean he's a beginner? But if that's the case, then what is this emotional ring that calls to my heart? What is this unknown element that's driving the audience so wild? My ears immediately started ringing from this roar. My head grew numb. Before I knew it, I was drowning in the flood of sound. I couldn't understand it at all. I couldn't comprehend this music. And yet, why did it captivate me so much? That's the power of rock and roll, my friend. I don't remember how I got back to my room. The next thing I knew, I was lying down on the sofa in my room with the lights off. I could still hear the thunderous sound lingering in my ears. Ow. My ears are still ringing. Would listening to that noise make one go deaf? That was my first time hearing such violent sounds. Why is everyone so excited over such a violent performance? You never see anyone acting like that towards classical music. Music is sound to be enjoyed. Dang it. But there was no manner of anything to that. It was a mess. My ears hurt. If I were in a place like that every day, I really might go deaf. And at least have some confidence in my hearing. Is that really music? I wasn't sure. My mind was not working. The liquor must be coming around. Still, you drink one beer. Okay, kids, this is what we like to call a candy ass. Before I knew it, I was asleep. That night, I didn't dream for once. No good dreams, and no good nightmares either. Ugh. My body was heavy and warm. This is uncomfortable. What's going on? Am I dreaming? I thought I avoided my nightmare for once. Ugh. I couldn't help move. Was I tied down? Ugh. Then I noticed something else was nearby. I heard a low, creepy growl coming from the back of someone's throat. Something's here? And it seems that someone was sitting on top of my chest. I couldn't help move, but it was on top of me. What was it? I was completely awakened by fear. I couldn't move my body now. but I was too afraid to open my eyes. Huh? Oh gosh. Something fell on my face. Something warm and slimy. Oh, grr. Warm, fishy breath hit my face. Just what is this on top of me? I slowly opened my eyes. I was afraid, but I had to look up. I knew I shouldn't. I knew I shouldn't look, but my eyes kept opening. And we'll find out what it is on our next episode. Thanks guys for watching. If you like the video, leave a comment please. Yeah, I know I messed up a little bit. If you'd like to see something different done, or just put a comment and let me know. Again, thanks for watching, and be sure to hit the subscribe button at the end. And I'll catch y'all next time on our next episode of Deardrops.